My name is Paddy Navin, and I played Donna in London's Burning. Well, I knew the casting director, and I had just been doing something in the West End, and the show in the West End ended, and so they got me in, and I just had a chat. You know, I didn't sort of particularly audition. I just met the casting director, Corin, who was a friend of mine, and to the guy that was directing loads of episodes of the first series, Jerry Mill. And, you know, he just said sort of straight away, I didn't even read, actually, just chatted to him. And he just said, I'd like you to play Donna. And it was just the most wonderful, wonderful part. So I was thrilled. Oh, she was wonderful. She was an actor's dream. You wait to play a character like that. She was a con artist, and she'd been living with one of the other firemen, who actually was Ross Kemp, who I then met in EastEnders, actually, and said to him, you know, you and I used to live together. I mean, we never met in London's Burning. It was just talked about that I had lived with him. And then I moved on to another fireman. So I was a con artist, and she was just wonderful. She was ruthless. I mean, when the fireman, the boyfriend, that she moved into his house and took over the whole house. And when he was in hospital, Charisma, having been burnt from a terrible accident, she went to visit him once. And when he got out of the hospital, she turned his entire house into a hairdressing salon. So she was that kind of a character. And plus she threatened him when he said, you've got to get out. She said, no, you know, because we've been sleeping together, you owe me half the house. So she was the kind of person that you loved to hate. And it ended with his mother coming over from Australia and beating me up and throwing me out of the house with all my baggage and everything else. And yeah, she was just wonderful. She was just wonderful to play, wonderful character.
You appeared in.
Oh God, yes, absolutely. It was wonderful. It was a great episode because it introduced her. So she was introduced, and she kind of, you know, she picked him up in the pub, in the local pub. And then I can't actually remember if it was that night that she slept with him, or if it was a couple. I've got a feeling it might have even been that night, but if not, it's a couple of nights afterwards, a couple of not episodes, but you know, the time space. But at the end of the first episode, he had suggested that she could come and live with him, and the episode sort of ended with a black cab being full of this horrific kitsch stuff, you know, leopard skin rugs and those lamps that were like from the 60s that were like psychedelic, and stuffed toys and everything. And the episode sort of ended with the camera just panning around this room where she had completely taken it over with all her awful belongings, and Charisma's face just looking in absolute shock. And that kind of, yeah, that really set her up. Plus, when she got out of the cab, she made him pay for the taxi as well. So it set her up beautifully. It was a lovely, lovely episode, really fabulous. Yeah. Oh, I remember it completely. Absolutely. You know, I mean, honestly, it's almost like the only word that I've got to say about the whole thing, the words, is amazing, wonderful, fabulous, fun. It was, he'd more or less just left RADA, and you know, wonderful actor. They all were. They were. I mean, everyone was just amazing. It was really the series to do at the time. I mean, it was incredible. Incredible writing, incredible directors, wonderful actors, and it was just amazing because, of course, my scenes really were with Gerard. Apart from his mum coming down and beating me up, my scenes were all with Gerard. He was just he was just fun, you know, he's just fantastic, a fantastic actor, fun to work with. Everyone highly professional, but it was so, I remember it, so much fun. It was so much fun. It was very easy, and yeah, it was just, it was lovely, absolutely lovely.
Studios.
No, we weren't in any studios. There was no studio. Oh yeah, there was once. What am I saying? I went into the fire station once to have a word with him. But otherwise, mine were, I was in a pub in Southeast London, and then I was in the house, in his house. My scenes were all, oh no, and then of course I went to visit him once in hospital. So that was a location scene as well, once in the hospital. But mine, I wasn't like the other guys that were all over the place because they were dealing with fires. So it was once in the fire station when I went to speak to him about something, once in the hospital, once in the pub when I picked him up, but all the rest of the time it was all in the house.
Makeup.
Oh, you're going to get bored hearing me saying this. Honestly, you are. It was wonderful. It was amazing because she was a hairdresser and she was that kind, and she was a con artist and everything. The costumes I had were incredible. We went down the King's Road, and you know, she had like different hairstyles in the episodes, high heeled shoes, little short leather skirts, PVC jackets, massive earrings. It was an actor's dream. I mean, when we did the episode in the hospital, he was so amazing. I must stop saying wonderful. I can't think of anything else, because it was wonderful. The way that he filmed it, before you even saw my character entering into shot, all you heard was like the click, click, click of these high heels walking into the hospital ward, and the dangling of these huge chain earrings. So that was the sound that you heard before she finally came into shot in a little mini skirt and the high heels and this hair everywhere and these earrings and everything. So we had a lot of fun, and they really enjoyed it, the costume people, and also the makeup, because of all the different hairstyles, because it was fun for them to work with a character like this that was so colorful and was always in something new, in a different pair of earrings or whatever, was really a lot of fun for them. So we had a great time together, great time going out shopping and kind of discussing ideas for the hair and everything. It was just magical. It was just fabulous. I think apart from my BBC Shakespeare and The Rivals, my BBC theatre night, out of all the television that I've done, I think it was my favorite. It was absolutely my favorite character. So that's all. The whole thing was a wonderful memory. So there's nothing that I can remember that went horribly wrong, or to laugh about it or anything like that. Because obviously, if anything goes wrong, you just shoot it again. But there was nothing, there was nothing like that. But one thing I would like to say as well is that a lot of the actors, they had to wait for a long time, often in the in the bus. Really, there weren't loads of Winnebagers or anything. And I remember Kath, who played the firewoman, she was wonderful. She had a really heavy storyline, really heavy. And she had to wait until about 11 o'clock at night or something to even shoot it. And no one ever moaned. I never heard any moaning and complaining. That's a great memory. It was as if everybody just knew that they were given a gift of a series. And no matter whoever I saw hanging around, having to wait for their scene, sometimes it just would be delayed just because of the fact that it was fires that was going on and stuff like that. But there was never that's a great memory. I never remember hearing any complaining at all, not from the camera crew that were really great as well. Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. Yeah, no, there was absolutely no training involved, because like when he walked in from the hospital, it was just me with the client, and I just had like a comb in my hand, and I was just doing something with, a ponytail or whatever, and I immediately went into dialogue and talked about the fact that I had perms to do, and could he make me a cup of tea, and whatever it was. So I didn't actually have to do any hairdressing as such, no. So there was no training or anything like that involved, no.
Pipeline.
Well, I mean, obviously, since London's Burning, I've done loads and loads of theatre. I've done tellies whenever they've come up, guest episodes. I mean, the next series I did after London's Burning was I did a series of Second Thoughts, and just lots of random episodes of all the big sort of Casualty, Holby City, EastEnders, etc., etc., etc. And lots of theatre, which is my first love. I worked a couple of times at the National, at the Old Vic, in reps. I wrote 3 of my own plays. I have just filmed a short film of something that I wrote for myself a while ago, and just finished filming it. I went up for a BBC film a couple of days ago. I did a self-tape. So I'm just like, all of the other actors, just doing my self-tapes, and which I don't enjoy at all. I miss going in the room and meeting people, and taking my work, as it comes. I've been abroad a couple of times. I did something in New York. I did a play in Singapore and Kuala Lumpur. So yeah, just whatever has come along, I have been happy to do. Oh, you're more than welcome, Andrew. It's really nice to be taken back to that time and remember it, because it was really, really, really special. I felt very privileged to be a part of it. And it was very special. It's really, really evokes really lovely memories as well. So it was lovely to do this for you.